There's a reason that you are the way you are. Let's imagine that you got a pit bull from the shelter. Let's imagine that you took that dog home and that dog was a rescue. And let's imagine that you had a barbecue with some of your friends. One of your friends went to go pet your dog, and your dog maybe lashed out and went to go bite your friend. And you're like, oh, I'm so sorry. He's a good boy. He's just a rescue. See, without knowing anything about that dog's history, as soon as you said the words, he's a rescue, your friend would understand why your dog acted the way that he did. And see, so many of you guys don't realize the same connection and correlation here. See, when you react the way that you do, when you get angry the way that you do, when you project the way that you do, when you get hostile the way that you do, when you gaslight the way that you do, when you manipulate and coerce and fearmonger the way that you do, it shows the connection between what you do and why you do it. There's always a trail of breadcrumbs that are leading back to the same exact place. There's a pathology that invisibly connects you to past experiences. See, I don't need to ask you about that. I'm telling you right now. And see, these things aren't excuses to justify why you do what you do, but they're reasons that explain why you do it. All of your behaviors are all survival mechanisms that you use to overcompensate for what really goes on the inside when you get triggered by other people. And see, these relationships in your life are where your deepest needs are met. So when somebody tries to get close to you, just like that pit bull, you're afraid. You're scared to trust people. You're scared to get intimate. You're scared to get vulnerable. You fear that people have ulterior motives, so you don't want to listen to what your wife says. Because as soon as you do, you feel like you're being manipulated. You have to exalt yourself. You have to be superior. Why? Because on the inside, you feel like you're not. You feel like you're less than. You have to lash out to keep people at a distance. You have to use the anger. Why? Because it's the only thing in your life that ever gave you a sense of control. The anger protected you. It made you feel like you weren't a victim. It allowed you to have a false sense of security, a facade to hide behind. See, if you were to really be mindful of the thoughts you think, the emotions you feel, and the reactions that you have, you would start to be able to connect the dots. And that's what this is all about. It's about connecting the dots. Leaving no stone unturned, making a connection between your past trauma and beliefs and behaviors that no longer serve you. And if any man ever tries to minimize the relevance, the impact, or the significance of those events, then he obviously hasn't had enough experience working with thousands of people enough to see that environment shaped the way that you react now. You have things in your life that are still showing up in your life without your permission. So next time you have a blowout with your wife, try to not look at what's happening in the present moment, and instead try to see what it's connected to from your past.